So, today we're talking about Lightroll, and why people who are lightrolling can be kind of a pain to deal with. First clip, this white phantom is lightrolling. In shocking news, gankers, you can just turn this video off now. Dealing with Lightroll is not very difficult at all if you just, have a person who you don't have friendly fire with. The year is 2019, and mind-blowing fact, ganking is still easy. But anyway, back to Lightroll. Lightroll is when you are under 30% equip load, resulting in a different walk animation, sprint animation, and roll distance. So we'll break those down one by one. First of all, if you're under 30% equip load, your character will walk differently from someone who is under 70% equip load. An additional little known fact is that this Lightroll walk animation actually makes your character move a little bit faster than a character who is mid-rolling and walking. It's a very, very small difference. Minuscule, tiny, but it is there. Second one we can talk about is sprint animation. While lightrolling, being under 30% equip load, does give you a different sprint animation from a person who is merely under 70% equip load. As far as I know, this difference in animation doesn't actually result in any faster speed when you're sprinting, thank God. And the final one is roll distance, the big one. Being under 30% equip load gives you a substantially longer roll distance. It doesn't give you any more iframes than mid-roll does, but it does give you a longer roll distance. Also, something beautiful is about to happen. Oh, that shit just gets better each time I watch it. I see immediately that this blue is incredibly laggy, and I'm just gonna get out of here because I am not about to fight a latent spear, an overleveled phantom, and a laggy blue all by my lonesome when they don't have friendly fire. My co-invader will be dying shortly, immediately after I get tagged by this dude's incredibly latent second R1 roll catch. There it is. Wonderful stuff. But anyway, we are about to retreat to the rafters because fuck fighting laggy 3v1s. Anyway. So why is Lightroll sometimes very irritating to deal with? The answer is because, one, it is very difficult to hit people who are lightrolling. Largely because of the roll distance. Straight swords are actually kind of bad at hitting people who are light rolling. Straight sword's greatest asset is not speed. It is very fast, obviously, but its asset is not speed, it is range. Compared to a curved sword or a two-handed dagger or an estoc or hand axe, which are the four weapons I would recommend for dealing with light roll. A straight sword just isn't going to get it done. It is too slow comparatively, without, gaining much just because it has a greater range. But anyway, what are the weaknesses of Lightroll? Let's talk about that quick. Weakness number one of Lightroll is obviously the fact that they have to wear less armor to achieve Lightroll. Their absorption values are going to be compromised because they can't wear as heavy of armor. That is weakness number one of Lightroll. Weakness number two of Lightroll is the mindset of Lightroll. When you Lightroll, you can often start to think, I have an even better roll than other people do in Roll Souls 3. If I just spam roll forever, I will be literally invincible. There are so many people I see who are lightrolling, and once they get roll caught once, they're done because they're just going to mash that roll button and rely on Lightroll forever to get them out of it. Also, that Grey Bow Invader had to die. I blame Jam for that. Because, fun fact, Lightroll has 0 roll poise. I don't know if you all are familiar with how roll poise works in DS3. Essentially, depending on what type of roll you have, light, medium, or fat, you get a certain amount of poise on your rolls. Not true poise, but much like the rest of DS3's poise system, you get a certain amount of hyper armor when you roll. It's weak, it's not a lot, but if you're fat rolling, you might get like great sword roll poise. If you're medium rolling, you might get like mace levels of roll poise. But if you're light rolling, you get 0 roll poise. And what does this mean? This means if you get roll caught once, if you just panic roll forever, you're going to keep on getting staggered on every single roll catch. Whereas with medium roll, even if you get roll caught once, you can keep on panic rolling and sometimes you'll get out of it because roll poise will save you. Whereas light roll does not have this advantage. And given that light roll tends to promote mindless roll spam, because it's a very powerful roll in a game where rolls are already very powerful, people who get hit once when they're light rolling tend to get hit a whole lot more times if they're not saved by other people. Light roll is a very powerful if used by a smart player, but it is a very, very risky tool used by a bad one. Another issue with light roll is that it is a playstyle for people who are looking to play very passively and never take any risks. Because if you take a risk and you get punished for it, you will get punished harder because you have low absorption values. And additionally, because your roll is so powerful, it emphasizes doing nothing but rolling backwards and running away forever. Which is great for gankers, but not so much for invaders, because, we have to actually pressure the host to prevent them from resummoning. So, what do you do against someone who plays very passively in a game where passivity is already too strong, and their build emphasizes this passivity? The answer is you need a weapon that can play aggressively. And there aren't that many of these in DS3. Weapon number 1 that I would recommend is the Pontiff Knight Curved Sword. Probably the biggest light roll killer in the game. It is a disgusting weapon in duels, but furthermore it's just a roll catch beast and will just usually massacre most light rollers. Option number 2 is Herald and Hand Axe. Herald and Hand Axe is extremely powerful because if they try and contest you with R1 spam from a light weapon, because they can't use a heavy one because they're light rolling, then you can just do a running R1 and poise through that shit, and then all of a sudden, oh boy, they are in a world of hurt. You have gotten them in the pain train, and they are about to take a lot of damage. And if they're content to do nothing but reaction roll your curved greatsword backwards forever, then you can mitigate that by simply trying to roll catch them with the hand axe. Weapon setup number 3 is probably Herald and Hand Axe, or or Herald and S-Stock, or Spear and S-Stock. Both of these are very good setups that allow you to play aggressively. S-Stock obviously will roll catch light roll quite well because they roll backwards forever, and S-Stock has more range than Hand Axe does. And weapon number 4 is probably a two-handed Corvian Great Knife. Longest dagger in the game, and it's a dagger, so it's extremely fast. I'm less of a fan of the Corvian Great Knife setup because it means you can't punish Estus as well because you only have a dagger, but it will do the job if you're just trying to roll catch someone who is light rolling backwards forever. This last clip is basically just a silly thing I got tonight. Something for me to talk over. This channel hit 200 subscribers recently. I didn't really do anything for 100 subscribers, so I feel like I should for 200. The year is 2019, and we are still playing Dark Souls 3. Elden Ring hopefully will finally release us from this dying game, though it's probably not going to get any more dead than it currently is. And yet, in a game that is 3 years old, in a game where pretty much everything has already been said, there are still 200 plus of you who are willing to come and listen to me ramble for 10 minutes about something that very few probably care about. And that's cool to me. It's cool to me that, in the real world we probably have a whole lot of different interests, but And in the real world, there probably aren't that many people like us who are still interested in learning about Dark Souls 3. Because to be entirely fair, a whole lot of what you can say about Dark Souls 3 has been said. Every week I'm not quite sure how I come up with a new idea to talk about. But in any case, I just wanted to say thanks for 200 subs. If I ever make 500, I'll post a montage or something, I don't know. But I'm just appreciative of the fact that beyond there still being interest in DS3 content, there is still interest in informative, I guess reasonably try-hard Dark Souls 3 content. Anyway, thanks for 200 subs. Keep it silly. See y'all later.